Take a slow breath and allow yourself to become fully present, because this message may have reached you at a moment when something important is shifting. Someone is thinking about you intensely right now, carrying a weight they can no longer easily ignore. They feel as though something precious is slipping beyond their reach, and that something is you. Welcome to Jungian Horizon. If this message resonates with you, stay with it, because what is happening beneath the surface may be more significant than what has been said aloud. This person senses a change in you, even if they cannot explain exactly when it began. Your energy no longer feels the same to them. Your responses have changed. Your presence feels quieter, more distant, and even when you communicate, they can sense a space where closeness once existed. That distance frightens them because somewhere inside, they assumed you would always remain. They believed you would understand, forgive, wait, and continue giving chances.
They became comfortable enough to mistake your love for something guaranteed. They assumed a meaningful connection could survive neglect, silence, and delayed effort. Now they are beginning to understand the cost of that assumption. Their fear may not be visible, but it becomes strongest when they are alone, especially at night when memories return without warning. They replay conversations, remember moments they dismissed, and notice how composed you have become. Your calmness affects them more deeply than anger ever could, because anger still asks for something. Calmness can mean that a person has finally accepted what they cannot change. They can feel that you are no longer searching for explanations or constantly trying to repair what they damaged. You have stopped over-explaining, stopped chasing reassurance, and stopped waiting for them to finally decide your worth. Now they are the ones questioning everything. This realization reaches them gradually. They notice that your attention seems directed elsewhere. They sense your independence. They imagine a future in which you are no longer part of their life, and that thought leaves an emptiness they cannot easily dismiss. Questions they once avoided begin demanding answers. What if I actually lose them? What if someone else recognizes everything I failed to appreciate? What if I waited so long that time has finally moved beyond my control? Inside, they are caught between pride and fear. One part wants to come forward, admit what was hidden, explain their behavior, apologize, and promise to do better. Another part fears rejection and wonders whether you would even believe them anymore. Yet something inside them is beginning to crack open. Memories of your patience, loyalty, support, and willingness to remain present during difficult moments now carry a different meaning.
They are recognizing the value of what they once treated as ordinary, and regret can be especially painful when truth becomes clear too late. They are paying attention now. Your silence, your tone, your absence, and your growing self-reliance are impossible for them to overlook. They can sense that you are reclaiming your emotional power, and that frightens them because your happiness no longer depends upon their attention. You are no longer waiting to be selected. That realization may push them toward an unexpected move. They may suddenly confess feelings, send a message they have been afraid to write, offer an apology they previously avoided, or attempt to show through actions what they could not express before. It may appear sudden, but internally, this moment has been building for a long time.
Still, there is something you must remember when that unexpected action arrives.
Their movement toward you does not automatically mean everything has changed. You have changed too. You have grown through the silence, learned to protect your peace, and discovered what it means to choose yourself. So when they finally step forward, the real question is not whether they are afraid of losing you. The real question is whether what they offer deserves a place in the life you have built. Ask yourself whether their effort is consistent or simply an emotional reaction to your withdrawal. Is the transformation genuine? Or are they acting because they suddenly fear being left behind? Are they choosing you with clarity, or only reaching for you because they can no longer depend on your endless availability?
You do not have to accept something merely because it is familiar. You did not become distant to punish them or create a reaction. You changed because your inner world needed peace, and that change may have forced them to confront what they previously avoided. Whether you ultimately continue this connection or walk in another direction, understand that your transformation has already mattered. You were never invisible. You simply stopped abandoning yourself to keep someone else comfortable. This person may feel they are losing you because, in an emotional sense, they already have lost the version of you who waited without limits. That realization could cause them to act quickly and unexpectedly. But what happens afterward should be determined by your truth, not by their fear. Remain grounded. Listen to your intuition. Watch what they consistently do rather than becoming overwhelmed by what they suddenly say. You deserve more than being pursued only when you begin walking away. You deserve to be valued, respected, and consciously chosen, not occasionally, but every day. If this message spoke to you, stay connected with Jungian Horizon for more reflections on inner transformation, relationships, and the deeper patterns of the human psyche. While you are waiting to see what this person does next, remember that this quiet period is not empty time. It is giving you room to become stronger, more grounded, and more secure within yourself. They are beginning to recognize that you are no longer standing emotionally at the same door, hoping they will finally notice your value. Instead, they are seeing someone who can stand confidently without needing their attention to feel complete. That transformation is exactly what is forcing them to confront their own feelings. While they were comfortable believing you would remain available, you were changing, healing, and becoming someone who no longer accepts the same treatment. Now that they may be preparing to approach you unexpectedly, you need to observe their actions with a clear mind. Fear can make people suddenly become attentive, but genuine transformation creates lasting behavior. They may arrive with emotional messages, thoughtful gestures, promises, or attempts to recreate the closeness you once shared. But ask yourself an important question. Would they be making these efforts if you had never started moving forward? You are no longer questioning whether you are worthy. They are now wondering whether they waited so long that they lost their opportunity. This waiting period is therefore not really about watching them change. It is about recognizing how much you have changed. You are learning that peace is far more valuable than a connection that only becomes meaningful when you begin to leave. If you feel tempted to return to the old dynamic, remember what caused you to step away. You wanted to be appreciated while you were present, not suddenly treasured only when your absence became real. Their urgency does not determine your timing. You do not have to make a decision simply because they have finally become afraid of losing you. Keep your boundaries intact and allow their behavior to reveal the truth. You can acknowledge their effort without immediately rewarding it with access to your life. Their regret may have arrived suddenly, but your healing did not. You have every right to move slowly and decide what actually feels right for you. Whether their next step creates a fresh beginning or simply brings an old chapter to its natural conclusion, you are no longer helpless in the outcome. You already accomplished the hardest part. You learned how to stand without depending on someone else to hold you up. What they do next can confirm what you have already discovered about your own value. Yes, you are someone worth making an effort for. But even more importantly, you deserve someone who chooses you willingly and consistently, rather than only reacting when they sense you slipping away. Trust your inner judgment as this unfolds. You will be able to recognize the difference between a genuine change of heart and a temporary fear of loneliness. When their unexpected move finally happens, it may bring conflicting emotions. You could feel relieved, emotional, or even strangely sad because you are witnessing the effort you once begged for. There is something powerful about finally receiving the behavior you waited months or even years to see. Yet do not allow the emotion of that moment to make the decision for you. Look beyond the gesture. Ask whether this new behavior has roots or whether it is simply an attempt to stop the discomfort of losing you. They are acting now because your absence has finally become real to them. The person who once believed you would always understand, forgive, and remain has finally reached a boundary. Now their words must be supported by visible changes in the way they live and treat you. You may notice them bringing up old memories, reminding you of special moments, or emphasizing everything that was good between you. They may be trying to draw you back toward the past, because that is where the connection once felt familiar and safe to them. But you are not living in that version of your life anymore. You have moved toward a future where your peace matters more than repeating something simply because it is familiar. So, while they attempt to close the distance, remain observant. Do they genuinely listen to what you need, or are they still focused mainly on their own fears and desires? Their response to your boundaries will reveal more than any beautiful speech. If they become angry because you do not immediately return, that may show that their urgency is about control rather than love. But if they remain patient, respectful, and willing to give you the space you need, that suggests they may finally be learning what it truly means to value you. This is where your growth matters most. Attention can feel intoxicating when it comes from someone whose attention you once desperately wanted, and that can make old patterns tempting. Remember the nights when you questioned your worth? Remember the loneliness that ultimately taught you how to become strong without them. Do not allow their sudden urgency to erase the journey that brought you here. You can appreciate what they are offering and still decide that it came too late. You can also choose to explore whether something healthier can be built from the ground up. The decision belongs to you now, and you are making it from self-respect rather than emotional hunger. Trust that whatever unfolds is moving you toward greater alignment. If this person truly belongs in the next chapter of your life, they will have to meet you at the level of growth you have reached, not ask you to return to who you used to be. Stay connected with Jungian Horizon for more reflections on emotional transformation, relationships, and the deeper patterns shaping your inner world. If this person truly wants another place in your life, the excuses will eventually disappear and their actions will begin speaking clearly. And if they cannot meet the person you have become, then perhaps they were meant to be one chapter rather than the entire story. You have already gained something priceless through this experience. You found yourself while learning to release them. Keep your dignity intact and protect the peace you fought to create. This period is revealing what you are willing to accept and what you will never tolerate again. They may suddenly show you the side of themselves you always hoped would appear, becoming attentive, emotional, affectionate, or deeply expressive. But do not mistake a temporary transformation for permanent growth. Anyone can become impressive when they are terrified of losing someone. The real question is who they remain when everything feels safe again. You are not looking for someone who treats you wonderfully only when you are preparing to leave. You deserve someone whose care remains steady during ordinary days when there is no crisis forcing them to prove anything. If they ask for another opportunity, remember that trust cannot be restored through promises alone. It must be rebuilt through repeated behavior. You do not owe them an immediate answer. If their intentions are genuine, they will respect your need for time. Their willingness to be patient may tell you more than any dramatic declaration ever could. Pay attention to yourself too. Notice how your body responds when their name appears on your phone. Do you feel warmth and peace, or tension and exhaustion? Sometimes your inner world recognizes what your thoughts are still trying to understand. Whatever you decide,
Never abandon the independent version of yourself that emerged from the difficult days. That version protected you when you felt lost. Do not exchange that hard-earned peace for a relationship that requires you to become smaller.
Sooner or later, the intensity of their reaction may begin to fade, and that will become the real test. Once the fear of losing you settles down, will they continue showing up? If they genuinely learn from this experience, their effort will remain even after the emotional urgency disappears. But if their goal was simply to regain access to you, their attention may decline as soon as they believe the danger is past. Watch them when there is no drama, no competition, and no fear. That is the version of them you would actually experience in everyday life. Meanwhile, your own life continues expanding. The energy you once poured into uncertainty can now move toward your goals, work, friendships, creativity, and personal well-being. Others may notice that you seem lighter because you are no longer constantly trying to fill an emotional space that never gave enough back. This is not about making them jealous or proving that they lost you. It is about finally understanding that your life belongs to you. You no longer need someone else's approval to feel valuable or secure. Whether you eventually welcome this person back or continue without them, you are approaching the decision from wholeness rather than desperation. Your pain has become a guide, showing you the direction toward peace. As you enter this next chapter, your relationship with time will change as well. You will no longer feel pressured to repair everything immediately or force a final answer. They are beginning to experience the weight of your independence and realizing that while they were taking your presence for granted, you were learning how to invest your time in yourself. That realization may make their next move more urgent, but urgency alone proves nothing. What matters now is what their behavior reveals about their character. If they approach you with humility, acknowledge the hurt they caused, and demonstrate through consistent action that they understand it, that may show genuine growth. But if they return with blame, excuses, guilt, or attempts to make you feel responsible for their discomfort, then their motivation may be fear rather than love. Listen carefully to what is missing from their words. Real transformation is not a dramatic speech followed by another period of disappointment. It is an apology followed by months of different behavior. You are now allowed to require consistency instead of being impressed by intensity. There is a quiet freedom in realizing that you are no longer trapped inside another person's indecision. You reclaimed your power simply by refusing to keep participating in the same cycle. That independence may make you more attractive to them, but it should never become a reason for you to surrender your standards. The pressure they feel now will reveal whether they have truly matured or simply become frightened by the possibility of losing access to you. You do not need to rescue them from that test, explain what they should do, or guide them toward the answer. Let their choices speak. Most importantly, protect the peace you created through all those tears, questions, and moments of uncertainty. Someone else's sudden panic does not deserve to disturb the calm you worked so hard to build. Whether this person eventually becomes part of your future or remains an important lesson from your past, you have already won something far greater: the ability to choose yourself without fear. And that is the foundation for the kind of love that is honest, stable, mutual, and worthy of the person you have become. Stay connected with Jungian Horizon for more reflections on relationships, inner growth, and the deeper journey towards self-understanding. You have already shown yourself that you can endure difficult seasons and still emerge stronger than before. Your future is no longer dependent on another person's changing attention because it is being built upon your own understanding of your value. Keep your heart capable of love, but let your boundaries remain strong. Trust that the direction ahead is revealing itself at the right pace. As you continue forward,
you may notice that the need to understand this person's behavior is slowly disappearing. There was a time when you could spend hours asking yourself why they acted a certain way, what they were thinking, or whether they would ever change. Now your attention is returning to something far more important: your own emotional state and your own peace. They can sense this shift. They know they no longer control your happiness, and that realization may be exactly what pushes them toward a dramatic move.
They are beginning to understand that the small gestures and inconsistent words that once affected you no longer carry the same power. Your emotional independence has forced them to confront themselves. Your growth has raised the standard for anyone who wants a place in your life, and they are discovering that simply showing up is no longer enough. They must bring honesty, consistency, accountability, and genuine effort. They may even begin revealing fears, insecurities, or old wounds they previously kept hidden. Their vulnerability may be sincere and meaningful, but you should not confuse understanding their pain with taking responsibility for healing it. You can have compassion for what they have experienced without carrying their emotional burden. You have already spent enough time trying to hold the relationship together by yourself. If they want another opportunity, they must now carry their share of the responsibility. There is tremendous freedom in reaching the point where you genuinely know you will be okay regardless of what they decide. That inner stability is what they are responding to now, and it is also what protects you from repeating the past. They are discovering that you are not a permanent safety net waiting to catch them whenever they fall. You have your own ambitions, relationships, interests, and meaningful life. So if they suddenly return, do not abandon the progress you have made simply because their presence feels familiar. Keep investing in your work, your goals, your passions, and the people who have supported you. Your life no longer revolves around their choices. In fact, this entire experience may have served a deeper purpose by revealing how capable you are of rebuilding yourself. You experienced disappointment, uncertainty, and emotional exhaustion. Yet somehow you reconstructed your life with greater strength and self-awareness. This person may have been an important part of that lesson, but they are not the source of your transformation. They helped reveal something that was already within you: the ability to choose yourself. Their next action could open the door to another chapter together, or it could finally close the chapter for good. Either way, you have already gained the most valuable outcome. You have recovered your own voice. You now move forward with a sense of direction that does not depend on another person's approval. Keep walking with confidence. Eventually, the mystery surrounding their behavior will stop occupying so much space in your mind. Your happiness will become more important than understanding their excuses. The central message is that your absence has finally made this person confront a reality they previously avoided. When you were always available, they may have assumed that no matter how distant, inconsistent, or uncertain they became, you would eventually remain there. Your presence became something they expected rather than something they consciously valued. But now the dynamic has changed. You have stopped organizing your emotional life around their behavior, and that change is forcing them to notice what your presence actually meant. Life did not stop simply because the connection became difficult. You continued growing, developing your confidence, and learning how to move forward without depending on their attention. For them, this can create a powerful realization. The person they assumed would always be emotionally available is no longer waiting in the same place. That realization may make their old defenses, especially pride and avoidance, much harder to maintain. They may begin recognizing that the fear of losing you has become stronger than their fear of being vulnerable. This is why their eventual approach could feel surprising. They might suddenly communicate feelings they previously kept hidden, offer affection they once withheld, acknowledge mistakes,
or behave in a way that resembles the person you always hoped they would become. Naturally, this can be emotionally powerful because it may seem as though the thing you waited for has finally arrived. But your growth changes how you experience that moment. You are no longer approaching their attention from a place of emotional hunger. You do not need their words to prove that you are valuable. Instead, you can pause and examine what is actually being offered. You can appreciate an apology without automatically accepting it. You can recognize their effort without assuming that one emotional conversation has erased years of disappointment. Your self-respect gives you the ability to observe instead of immediately reacting. This is an important shift because genuine change is not measured by how intensely someone behaves when they are afraid of losing you. It is measured by how consistently they behave after the fear has disappeared.
Your silence also represents something much deeper than simply refusing to communicate. It means you have stopped chasing, fixing, explaining, and carrying the emotional responsibility for two people. Perhaps you were once the person who reached out first whenever there was distance, tried to repair every misunderstanding, gave reassurance when they withdrew, and kept the connection alive even when the other person was uncertain. Over time, that can create an unhealthy pattern where one person carries the relationship while the other becomes comfortable receiving the effort. Now you have stepped away from that role. You are allowing the other person to experience what happens when you stop building every bridge yourself. This is not revenge, manipulation, or an attempt to make them suffer. It is a boundary. A boundary says, I care, but I will not continue abandoning myself to keep this connection alive. That distinction is extremely important. You are not trying to control what they do next. You are simply refusing to control the outcome for them. If they genuinely want to rebuild the connection, they now have to participate. They have to communicate, listen, take responsibility, and demonstrate through behavior that they are capable of creating something healthier. Their responsibility is no longer something you can carry on their behalf. Your focus has shifted from, how can I make this person choose me, to, does this person have the capacity to meet me where I am? That is a completely different position to stand in. It comes from self-respect rather than fear. Their unexpected move may therefore reveal something about their character, but it does not determine your value. Whether they return with sincere change, temporary emotion, or no meaningful action at all, your worth remains exactly the same. The greatest transformation is not that they finally notice your absence. It is that you no longer need their attention to feel complete. You have begun giving yourself the reassurance, stability, acceptance, and love that you once hoped they would provide. That is why their actions can now be observed rather than desperately awaited. You have regained your freedom, and freedom means you can choose what belongs in your life instead of accepting whatever someone else decides to offer.